Yesterday, Florida fired Dan Mullen. It needed to be done because he wasn't going to get the Gators anywhere. But now the question becomes, who does Florida hire? Well, I've been doing some research on this topic for a couple of weeks now, and yesterday was the most time I spent on my research. You know, with Mullen being fired and all. There were some guys I liked, and I originally was going to make a video of all the candidates I liked, but the more I thought about it, there was really only one realistic option that would make me, as a Gator fan, really happy. That man is Louisiana head coach Billy Napier. There are so many things I like about him, a lot better than all the candidates Florida could go after. Today I'm gonna break down every good thing about him that should appeal to not only the Gator fan base, but to Scott Strickland and the boosters. Let's get started. One of the reasons Mullen failed at Florida was his inability to recruit. It got worse every year, and right now it is at its worst in a long time. But Billy Napier has never had any problems with recruiting. When he was a wide receivers coach at Alabama, he always brought in good talents like Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, and Trayvon Diggs. He's also been great at recruiting at Louisiana, having 3 straight seasons with the best ranked recruiting classes in the Sun Belt. Now you can say that, oh, it's not that hard to recruit in the Sun Belt. Yeah, you're right. It's easy for a guy who has experience recruiting for an SEC school, coaching in the weakest conference in college football. But man, 3 straight years finishing #1 in the Sun Belt is awfully impressive, and he does have connections to the state of Florida, so if Florida hires him, he would recruit very well in the state of Florida and could potentially have consistent top 3 classes in the SEC and top 10 classes overall. He would without a doubt be a huge improvement over Mullen in the recruiting department. Now, recruiting is nice and all, but you gotta develop these guys in order to win some games. Billy Napier has always been a good developer. He coached Amari Cooper, who was a Heisman finalist and is currently the Cowboys wide receiver 1, Calvin Ridley, who is a first-round pick and has some success in the NFL, but those are Bama guys. It's easy to recruit 5 stars at Bama and take credit for their development. Okay, good point. So let's look at the NFL talents he sent from Louisiana. During his tenure at Louisiana, he's had 4 players drafted into the NFL, which includes running back Elisha Mitchell, who has been solid in the NFL and every fantasy football owner's favorite bench player to have. But Charlie, 4 players is low. You're right, that's not a sexy number for a guy who has been there for 4 years. But to be fair, it's really hard to get really good talent to come to Lafayette, especially with LSU in the same state. But he's done a pretty good job at developing players in his career, and with more resources at Florida, I'm pretty sure he would be able to send more players into the NFL. You can be a good developer and recruiter, but can you be the CEO and leader a team needs? Dan Mullen didn't have any of those qualities, but Billy Napier does. There are some quotes that have stuck out to me about him as a leader. Before the 2021 season, ESPN did an interview with Billy Napier, and there were some interesting quotes from that article, like, despite everything the Raging Cajuns already have accomplished, he talks about how there's more to be done. Winning a share of the Sun Belt last season was nice, but they want the whole thing. They want to upset Texas in the season opener Saturday. They want to avenge last season's loss to Coastal Carolina, reach a New Year's Six Bowl, and establish themselves as the top program in the Group of 5. When he got fired from Clemson as an assistant coach, Napier said it was a humbling experience. He was forced to recenter himself, he says, and accepts his reality. When linebacker Lorenzo McCaskill joined the team shortly after Napier was hired, he said that he felt the impact of his new coach's plan immediately. He can tell you what he's going to do in the next 15 minutes, the next hour, the next 2 hours. He has his whole day planned out, and he can tell you what he's doing around this time next year. According to the article, it is said that on the top floor of Louisiana's new athletic facility, on a wall leading to Napier's office, is a pyramid of 3D boxes that serves as a sort of roadmap to the upcoming season. There's a box for each regular season opponent, for the Sun Belt West and the Sun Belt Conference as a whole. Beneath each box is one of the program's core values, words like integrity and respect. Atop the pyramid is a box with the Raging Cajuns logo above the logo of each of the Group of 5 conferences, a nod to the stated goal of being the top program in the Group of 5. And then there's this famous quote he had after beating Liberty just recently that has a lot of people in love with him. Scared money don't make money. What do these quotes say about him as a leader? He is a guy that is driven to be better, inspires the players, he has a plan, and he learns from his mistakes and takes accountability. But one thing that has Florida fans worried is the idea of bringing his entire staff to Florida, and you don't want a bunch of Sunbelt coaches in the SEC, and that isn't really a great thing for a CEO guy. To me, his qualities as a leader tells me he's a guy that won't accept mediocrity. If someone isn't getting the job done, that guy won't stick around for long, and will replace them with someone better. He has done a good job of replacing coaches. After the 2019 season, his defensive coordinator Ron Roberts left so he can be the defensive coordinator for Baylor, and he had done a good job of coaching the defense, going from the third worst scoring defense in the Sun Belt in 2018 to the best scoring defense in the Sun Belt in 2019. So Billy Napier replaced him with Patrick Toney, who has done a pretty good job with the defense. In 2020, Louisiana had the 4th best scoring defense in the Sun Belt. Right now, Louisiana has the best scoring defense in the Sun Belt and the 15th best overall. Napier will hire some good coaches. He knows what he's doing. I've mentioned how good of a recruiter he is, how good of a player developer he is, and how good of a leader and CEO he is. But what has he done at Louisiana? What has all those qualities that I just mentioned brought the Louisiana program? Well, those qualities brought the program 3 straight 10+ win seasons, which before Billy Napier even coached the team, Louisiana never had a 10-win season. 3 straight Sunbelt West titles, Sunbelt co-champions in 2020, and finishing that year ranked number 15 in the AP poll. Right now, they're ranked number 22 in the AP poll, and they could potentially sneak into the college football playoff polls this week. So he's been their best coach in program history and bringing them to places they haven't been before. And the only bad year he's had was his first year when they finished 7-7. They have gotten better ever since that first year. Now, I've made my case for Billy Napier. Right now, a lot of you guys are at a point where y'all are either thinking, wow, this guy's perfect for Florida, and they should go after him. Or, okay, but I still like this guy better. Or, he's not as good as Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, or Kirby Smart. You're right, he isn't perfect right now. But I love his potential as an SEC coach, and I do think he is the best option available to anyone, really. And that includes LSU, who has been rumored to being interested in him. I think he gives Florida the best chance to being back to the program they once were. Now, I know a bunch of y'all are saying, what about Kiffin, Cristobal, or Fickell? Lane Kiffin is a better coach than he was before coaching at Alabama, but I don't like his recruiting, and there are too many Mullen-like traits he has. Cristobal is a fantastic recruiter, but he doesn't win big games, and he hasn't done a great job of taking Oregon to the playoffs. And he's in a worse Power 5 conference they should have been in by now. As for Fickell, I wouldn't be upset about hiring him, but I like Napier better. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Billy Napier and why I like him a lot for Florida, and as a Gators fan, I hope we snag him. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all later.